All right. Let's see. All right, Facebook family and friends. Last week, I forgot to go public. I had to go in afterwards and change this to public. I hope you guys had the opportunity to look at the link that I provided just to get you guys a little familiar with what's going on the, what is this? The Amendment 3, 4, 5, and 6. I didn't even look at 1 and 2. Home Rule Charter, City of Omaha, which describes the process of granting, extending, and changing. Okay, so I didn't even pay attention to 1 and 2. I don't know why I would think it wasn't a 1 and 2 if there was a 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let me get this going public because the hour has arrived. It is Stay Woke time. We have Clarice Dombeck coming on today. Definitely going to ask her about her name because I am interested, and I've never heard that last name before on anybody. Let me change this audience to public and edit this. StayWokeLive. Okay, you already know that we're going to be talking about, let me see. We're going to be talking about the police, the black police officer. What's wrong with the black people? That's what I need to know. What is wrong with the people? I'm just like, what is going on? Last week, I thought we had a whole bunch of stuff just to talk about. And here they go again this week. I'm just like, what in the world is happening? Then I just seen a story about a couple getting married and the fiance killed the mother of 7. I'm just like, wow. Okay, so I'm pulling up this information that Precious, thank you. Shout out to Precious McKesson for sending me the explanation of all of these amendments. I put it in the post, the promo reel. I put it in the promo reel so you guys could take a chance to read it. I'm not going to read through everything, so just to let you know, I'll share the screen and show you guys some stuff that's on there. Let me get back here. All right, let me get into the comments. If you are in, shout your name out, shout your city out, shout your name and city out. Let us know you in here. Again, Clarice will be in about 6:10, 6:15. Dombeck, Dombec, just like it sounds. I wonder where that name is from, though. I'm very interested to find out. I'm interested to ask her because she's a little young sister. That's what I'm glad that it is women, more women entering the race, black women, black people, period. Black women, black men. I'm glad to see y'all out there. As long as y'all standing on the right side of things and not making everything just beneficial for you, make it beneficial for us as a whole, as a community. Let me get in here and see y'all out, not making everything just beneficial for you. Y'all see that I'm on here. Let me see. Shauna Mackey, what's up, fam? What's up, fam? Thank you for joining. Shauna, we're going to be talking, have some great topics to talk about. I'm going to tag a couple of people, let them know to get in here. We'll be talking about the young black officer who killed his partner. Well, it wasn't even his partner. That was his boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. And he killed him. We're going to be talking about that. Just stuff that black people is doing that we just used to say back in the day where they wasn't black. I dare not let those words part from my mouth at all because, honey, until you read the whole story. Also, the eyelash tech car got set on fire because she couldn't get somebody in. I mean, are those eyelashes that important? I mean, what's really going on that you're going to set somebody's car on fire because they couldn't get you in to do your Mickey Mouses? Honey, we were just talking about we sick and tired of them Mickey Mouses that look like they going to fly away. Look like when Patti LaBelle do that. Oh, yeah. So we'll get into talking about that. Let me see. Let me go ahead and tap in a couple of people here. I don't know. I had started a live and I had stopped because, well, I ain't going to tell y'all. Well, I didn't have a bra on. So, look, I said I ain't going to tell y'all, but I didn't have a bra on. So that's really what happened. So I was like, oh, it's heard this that I wouldn't. I went and just threw a shirt over my shirt. So okay, we got Miss Dombeck is in here, honey. Sister on time, sister on time. Whenever you get through, that is what I'm talking about. Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon. Well, good evening. It's evening time now. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. I am doing good. Look, I said sister on time, sister on time. All right, let me see. So this is the Stay Woke, the hottest podcast in the Midwest, the only podcast that shouts you out in real time and answer questions in real time. Welcome to the show. So at any time I'll be saying, "Oh, we got five new people in," and then we'll shout them out. People will ask you questions on this platform. If I can get to them, of course, I can't get to every question. Usually by the end of the show, it's between 79 and 150 questions or comments that people will
Oh,
put on
wow.
here. So yeah, of course, I don't have time to, to properly give you your respect and getting your issues and things out here, along with answering every questions. But they understand the stay wokers. Hey, they in here, they come in here. They know what time it is. So we are going to be talking about some subjects today. So what we do on the show is basically I bring some current events, some things that's happening that is affecting us. And the last week I did a show on, I mean, I just can't believe what's wrong with these black folks just doing all this crazy stuff. When I was growing up, we felt comfortable saying, "Oh, we know that wasn't a black person that did that." So I mean, nowadays you gotta be looking like, you're like, what's the last name? Trying to associate name with race and all kind of stuff like that. So this week, there was several things that happened. I'm like, wow. So I'm not sure if you saw where the young lady, she could not get an appointment with her nail tech. I mean her lash tech, and so she set her car on fire. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
All right.
That's
Well, honey,
wild.
yeah, I'm about to show y'all the video, and I'm just like, I just was like, okay, well, why? I mean, okay, so I'm gonna share this video with y'all. It's crazy. Give me a second.
Mm-mm.
With all these cameras, I mean, what's the point? I mean, it's like all these cameras out here. What would be the point of doing that when, I mean, you're going to get busted. I mean, it's too many cameras. Back in the day, rings only cost X amount of dollars. Rings are like $50. You could probably get a hookup for $25 on a knockoff ring now. So I don't understand the mentality of anyone. I mean, regardless of race, of just doing these blatant things when there is so much CBT digital, I mean, just so much footage that is just being shown. I don't understand that. So what do you think about that situation? I mean, I don't wear lashes. Do you wear lashes? I mean, so they're not important to me. So I guess I gotta have somebody on here that wear lashes, get the Minnie Mouses going on, ask them, hey, if you can't get your appointment, what are you gonna do?
I don't wear lashes. I think that they're beautiful, but they're just not for me because I wouldn't upkeep the maintenance that
Right.
is needed to have them. But it's super unfortunate. And I did not see that video, but I'll be honest, I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot. I like to scroll on there to help me wind down from my day.
Uh-huh.
And what I see on there sometimes is entrepreneurs talking about issues that they encounter with their clientele, and then vice versa. Unfortunately, and I think this is just a result of us sort of moving away from the um, sort of like the customer is always right culture in the US, is that people are not necessarily getting the experience that they want when they go to get these different services. However, that definitely does not justify a lot of what these clients are doing in return, whether that's withholding money or fighting their lash tech or their braider or do,
Right.
you know, all sorts of things that are completely out of line. It's like if this person doesn't service you or service you in the way that you want, just move on and go to someone else. You
Right.
know,
That's what
it's
I'm
so many
talking about.
options out there. So many
Too many
options.
options. Too
Yeah.
many options. Well said. Well said. Well said. Well, we got a few people that just tapped in. We got Serena Russell watching in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you. Thank you. Terry Marshall Kellogg. That's my sister. My fam, my Eastern Star sister, Patty J. Morgan is in here. Shauna Mackey is in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to some and introduce to others. This is Clarice Dombeck. She is running for the Metro Transportation Board. So a lot of people are like, and our last guest, unfortunately, really couldn't tell us much about the board. So tell us, well, first of all, tell us about yourself, and then we want to know a little bit more
Yeah.
about the position.
Okay, as you said, my name is Clarice Dombeck. I was born and raised in North Omaha. I lived there almost my entire life into the last 2 years, where I got a job where I was able to move into my own place. But I'm currently I hold a management position at a nonprofit organization, so I do a lot of work in the community, and I'm a community organizer. I'm a urban. My space is really in urban studies, urban planning, and urban design is what I work in. I'm also a urban farmer, so I organize a community garden on 24th and Pratt called Healing Roots African Diaspora Garden. I've done that for the last 3 years, and that's really like one of the highlights of my life. I really love doing that work. And I guess I can talk a little bit more about my background. So I graduated from UNO with my undergraduate degree in 2021 in Black Studies and Sociology. That was a great experience for me. So I didn't go back to school until I was 26 years old. I worked in the service industry for 10 years, and then that's when I decided, okay, I'm ready to go back to school and to get a more formal education. And like I said, that's when I went to UNO. I was privileged and blessed enough to get the Goodrich Scholarship, and that fully paid for my tuition. And through that, I was able to do several like study abroad activities. So I studied abroad at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa, and I
Okay
also
with
had
that.
the yes. And I also had the opportunity to study abroad in Dakar, Senegal, in West Africa, and I really enjoyed those experiences so much. And that was really my first time um, in a truly urban space, like in a space where there's millions of people in one city. My first experience in that was with Johannesburg and then in Dakar. After I graduated, I ended up getting an internship at the my current workplace, which is Spark. And then I was able to move up from an intern to now I'm the urban development manager there.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a
Intern
great
to urban
experience.
development manager. Okay.
Yes, it's been a great learning experience, and I was really blessed enough to have a great mentor by my side to work with me through that. I'm not sure if you're familiar, Manny Cook. He's a familiar face and
Yes.
familiar name in the community, so I got to work with him a lot. I got to work with a ton of other really great community members and community organizers over the last few years as well. And went back to school. Again, I'm getting my master's in urban studies at UNO. And that's really when I fell into that space of like mobility and transportation justice and how important that is for our community, considering just like how many just like wrenches and barriers and things
Yes.
have been
Some
thrown
people
our
don't
way.
understand when they say, "Oh, yeah, she's in charge of the bus." So I am so glad that you just broke it
Yeah.
down and you said the different facets, wrenches, everything that goes in there. Because people are like, because somebody said they was running, they had experience because they was riding a bus for 30 years or whatever. So
Yeah.
you come to the table with experience. And when you say you went back to school, I mean, you didn't just go back to school. Oh, 10 years later, I went back to school. You got a double major in Black studies. You're currently working on your master's degree. So when you say, "Oh yeah, I just went back to," now I went back to school 10 years later. I mean, not 10 years, but 25 years later, and got my degree. So I got my degree and I bounced. But yeah, you didn't just go back to school. You are look like you are out here to fulfill something. It looks like when you went back to school, it gave you kind of an itching for something,
Yes.
because just by this is I don't know you. I just met you today, but I definitely get a sense of community service just by all the projects that you are involved in, that you are a person who cares about your community. So we definitely appreciate that on Stay Woke. Definitely appreciate that. So I do
Thank
have a
you.
question for you. You are in District 2. Your position is in District 2.
Yeah.
You tell the people, because some people were calling me, she's not on my ballot. I said, that means she's not in your district. So can
Yeah.
you tell the people what area District 2 covers?
Yeah, so the districts are pretty big. They're about the size of a city council district. Now, District 2 specifically on the east, it goes to about Carter Lake. To the north, the furthest north it goes is Maple. To the west, the furthest west it goes is 85th and West Dodge Road. And then to the south, the Center Street. So it is a large district, but I would definitely recommend folks who are everybody's unfamiliar with it because it's a newly elected position. So I definitely
Mhm.
recommend that people go to the Douglas County Commissioner website, and then they have a map where you can just type in your address, and then you can look at what district you're in for RMTA and for everything else that's on the ballot
Okay.
too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I love when people come on, and because it's a just like this ballot here. I'll be discussing this at some point. But I did reached out to Precious McKesson, who is amazing. I mean, she just
Yes.
answered my call, just like that. Precious McKesson, and I was like, "Hey, I'm smart. I went to school. I'm not the smartest person in the whole world, but so I remember I voted wrong because I misread the way that they formatted the amendment. I voted
Yeah.
opposite of it. So I wanted everybody to get some clarity. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you click on the link that I provided. I'll put it in this link at this show at the end of the show, the link at the end of the show. And here, if somebody has it, just go and copy and paste it from my promo reel, and put it in here because it will tell you break down what they are saying and why they want it changed. It was a couple of interesting ones on there once I went to that link.
Mm.
So Precious is definitely, so we will be discussing that later with the people. So so I wanted to know, what are you doing as far as, I know you're doing interviews because you're highly anticipated. You're a young Black woman. You out here doing your thing. So what have you been doing to try to garner votes? Because I understand. First, let me ask this question: how did you? Because I know it's a pecking order. Same questions I asked my last interviewer, my last three candidates. So did you register with the Democratic Party when you decided to run, or did you just say, "Hey, I'm a Democrat, I'm running"?
So I did not register with the Democratic Party initially. Actually, when I decided to run, I first selected as a nonpartisan because
Mhm,
that is essentially what this role is supposed to be, is a nonpartisan
mhm.
role. But then I was able to get advice from people in my community, and they were like, look, we know you have these democratic values. We understand that this is
Right.
supposed to be a nonpartisan race, but since you're so much aligned with the Democratic Party, then it will be to your advantage to
Facts.
register as a Democrat in this and to run as a Democrat. And then that way I'm able to get support from the
Right.
Nebraska Democratic Party as well, like being able to have access to their voter registration system and being able to have access to their email list and those sorts of
Exactly.
things.
That's a lot. That's huge. So that's
Yeah.
why I am so glad you broke that down the way you broke it down. Because the thing is that, I mean, I'm gonna just be honest. Ever since Trump came down that escalator, everything is partisan. I mean, everything is. They say, "Oh, this isn't a bipartisan. This is a." Everything
Yeah.
is. It shouldn't be like that, but the reality of it and the reality of it changing is slim to none because
Yeah.
some of these people have gotten their muscles and it's like, oh, they taking their sheets off their heads and putting them on their beds. I mean, it has gotten really bad. So they make it like that. So I am glad because some people, and young people and older people are not open to hearing if they already have a vision for something. But I
Yeah.
am so glad that you were open to listening. You had good people around you and you were open to listening and learning because getting access to the emails, that is huge for you. That
Yeah.
is huge for you. So a shout out to you for listening to the good people around you and saying, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm gonna get here, especially if it aligns with your values. So if it didn't align with your values, I can understand you not, going forward with that. But when it aligned with your values, that is so awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
like I told you, it's shout out time. Here they go. They in here. Some people asking questions. Okay, let me do shout out time. We got Serena in here from watching from Charlotte, North Carolina. Patty J. Morgan, Annie Brooks. Annie Brooks was the first, one of the first. She was the first set of African American students that went to Peru State College. I've been trying to get her.
Oh, okay.
I interviewed her before. She's a great interview, but not on this show. So we trying to get her on. Annie Brooks, shout out to Miss Annie Brooks. We got Darlene Peaches Murray in here. Also, my brother is in here. He must be watching from the JOB. My brother John Gould is in here. So Shauna Mackey is in here. Terry Marshall Kellogg. Patty J. Morgan said, I do, but she's talking about the eyelashes. She said she get individual eyelashes. They are beautiful and they look natural. But if she can't get in with her lash tech, then she just moving right along.
Yeah.
She's moving right along. Okay, who said I saw the man on the ballot. It's good to put a face with the name. You're right, Sister Brooks, because blindly sometimes we support people because we know them and
Yeah.
then, once you interview them and find out what they're about and things like that, I mean, things
Can,
change.
I was like, can
Things,
I have an honest moment? So I've
yes.
been out canvassing, right, in the neighborhood I grew up in. So I grew up around like Florence Boulevard,
Mhm.
and a lot of not multiple people have told me that they would have never thought to vote for me because they would have looked at my name and assumed that I was
Oh
white.
yes,
And I'm like,
definitely.
hold on, like,
Definitely.
wait, wait. That's I'm not. Um, so it definitely does make sense to put a face with a name. And then also what people were telling me is that people in candidates in these like lesser known races don't go out and do canvassing, so people don't know who they are.
Right.
So I've definitely been trying my best to canvass as much as I can so I can introduce myself to my neighbors because these are people who also live in my neighborhood, and then just broadly introduce myself to folks who are in the community who I would like to hope, since basically I'm canvassing registered people who are registered Democrats, right? So people who have similar values to me as well. So hopefully then that alignment and them getting to meet me and learning a little bit more about me can translate to a vote.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have plenty of people on here like they want me to get to the issues of the amendments and stuff like that. I told them I'll look it up for them, but I was able to get a link for them because they're like, Chantella, who is this? And some people I'm look, and then my mom be like, oh, her last name Williams, she black. I said, nah, let me look her up. And so I literally have to look up the people and then
Hmm.
research them, see what they
Yeah.
voted for in the past, see what issues they so it is definitely good to have you on the show. So people, you guys know Clarice Dombag, if you are in District 2, this is your candidate right here on Stay Woke Live. Okay, so I did want to talk to you about um so you already answered one question because I was going to ask you what political party are you affiliated with, since this is a nonpartisan position. I do want to ask you about. I know you received the award to go to. Was it Dakar? How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, Dakar, Senegal.
Okay, Dakar, Senegal. So I was reading about your experience there. So you were like stayed with multiple families and that were mostly Muslim. So
Yep.
how I mean, I know that was like a literal culture shock, really. You know,
Yes.
we can talk about it, watch movies about it, but actually being in that environment, how was that experience for you? And that did that experience push you towards your political aspirations?
So I really did enjoy the experience. I stayed with a exchange family, and then within a huge, beautiful house, right? And then within that house is where they let it was multi-generational, so the grandparents lived there. One of the aunts lived there. They had a niece that lived there with her family, and there was also a Christian family that lived there as well.
Okay.
And this was actually during Ramadan, so that is their holy month, right? And it's when
Yes.
they are very entrenched in practicing their religion and studying and being together with their families. So it definitely was a culture shock. Not to say that we aren't religious here, because we definitely are, but it was the first time I have been in a predominantly Islamic or like Muslim space, but it was still great. Welcome with open arms. They always ensured that I had food to eat, even though they were fasting. They always ensured that I was safe when I was, going out and exploring with my friends. And I got to learn a lot about just the lifestyle, about the country, about the history. And I would say that, yes, it has informed uh, my activism in a way. One of my friends that I met or made when I was there, his name is Mariba. He is an activist. And before, and then again, not long after, and again, recently in Senegal, there has been a lot of political um, tension, I'll say. Um, their government wants to have a lot more control over people. And like I said, my friend Mariba is one of those activists who will go out and be in the forefront and organize protests and get people together for conversations and really reach out to the media, whether it's the local media or the national media, to be able to bring what the people want, regular people want forward, versus what their government tries to impose on them. So he has particularly influenced me a lot.
Good.
And then just generally being in a space where I got to learn a lot more about my own history,
Right.
has influenced
That
the
part.
reason why I decided to be a candidate in this race.
All right. Well, good
So not
answer.
a direct influence, but a lot of indirect influences for
That's
sure.
awesome. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear a full sentence of why you wanted to enter the race, other than saying I'm on the ballot. So I did read something about that, something that's very important and something that they are. I guess that's something you guys will be discussing once you get on the board. We're not going to say
Mhm.
if you get on the board. Once you are elected to the board, can you explain what they are saying, are talking about when they say expanding, expanding transportation? Because
Mhm.
I understand it to be my understanding. I don't know if my understanding is correct. Is just basically transportation will be extended outside of the metro area. Can you explain? I don't know if I'm right or not, but can you explain to the audience about the expansion of transportation?
Yeah, of course. So what will happen once the RMTA is officially operating is that different counties, so there are 8 counties within the metro area, I cannot name them all. I would lie if I said
You
I
don't
could,
need
but
to. Girl,
um,
you informing us right now.
okay, there are 8 counties within the metro area, and essentially those counties will have the opportunity to vote. So they will vote in their own separate elections if they want to become a part of this RMTA, the Regional Metro Transit Authority. And if they vote to become a part of that, that is when the service will then be extended to those other areas. So the first one that comes to mind that actually a student asked me about recently is Fremont, because they are, I believe that's Lancaster County, and there are a lot of job opportunities in Fremont. And right now there are a lot of folks specifically from immigrant and refugee communities that work out at those like meat packing plants and those other industries that are in those areas. And they heavily rely on carpooling. So they really need it. And some of them are undocumented, which means they can't get a driver's license. So they really need to be able to have access to public transportation to go work at those jobs.
That would be
So
awesome. Yeah,
yes,
that would
yes.
be awesome.
And
Yeah.
another one that automatically comes to mind where there isn't service now, but there could be, is like out at LinkedIn. There's so many people who work at LinkedIn,
Mhm.
hundreds, if not more, and there's not a bus line that goes out there.
Okay.
So that is one of those other places where transportation could potentially be expanded to. But again, that's something that those specific counties and cities will
Right.
have
We have
to
to agree on.
opt into, and
Mhm.
then the RMTA board would vote on that as well.
I don't know. I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to opt into that because it just seems like it's beneficial. It's benefiting everybody around.
Um,
So I'm not sure why they wouldn't want to do that. But I definitely, once you get in there, I hope that you guys can make that a reality, especially that
yes.
Omaha to Lincoln. I mean, that's not something I ever in my lifetime. I rode the bus when I was a kid. Oh my goodness, so much freedom. That's why I tell my kids, y'all don't even know about this freedom.
Mm,
When we rode the bus, baby, oh, we was janky. We used to
to
cut up.
Lincoln.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't even think about a bus going to Lincoln. I'm like,
yeah.
we went from North Omaha to the West Road,
Yeah.
from North Omaha to South Omaha. So I couldn't even think about that. But I'm saying that when we rode the bus, we had so much fun. It was 10 or 12 of us. I'm apologizing to those bus drivers again because I'm sure we was janky and got on y'all nerves. But that is super awesome. I definitely didn't think about the Lincoln area. That is huge. That's huge. So since I didn't age myself about riding a bus, Gizmos was at the West Roads. Kettle Corn Castle was at the West Roads. What else was at the West Roads that ain't been there in 25 years? So since I didn't age myself, how much is bus fare? I have no idea. It was 20 cents the last time I rode the bus.
$1.25. It's a dollar
$1.
25. And then I believe it's another 25 cents for a transfer.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, transfers used to be free, but then the last time I rode the bus, no, let me take that back. I rode the bus. My daughter was maybe 3 or 4 because I worked downtown and it was too expensive to park. So I used to
Hmm.
catch the bus to work and then get in my Cadillac when I came home. And transfers were a nickel. So transfers are
Yeah.
25 cents.
Yeah. I will say that K through 12 students ride the bus for free. So that's great. UNO students ride the bus for free as well.
Wow.
I believe people who work at UNMC, and students who go to UNMC can ride the bus for free too. So there's a lot of options for, um, or there's a lot of help for folks who
Oh,
are,
definitely. Are
you
y'all listening to
know,
that? She said
might
K
not have
through
jobs
12.
or that sort of thing, or too young to hold a job. There's free fair days as well. Actually, just was it yesterday, the 22nd? What was the 22nd? Okay, so that was Monday. So Monday was a free fair day, and I actually took the bus. I took the Orbit from my apartment to Central High School for
Look at you
that,
getting
to
into
talk to
look
some
at you getting
students,
into your
to
getting into
yeah,
your job.
to
Look at you getting
to
into your
talk to some
position.
students up there. And it just brought back a lot of memories because I also went to Central High School. I didn't mention that earlier. I meant to, but I also went to Central High School. So I
I
rode the
had it
number
on here already.
18.
Look.
Okay. So I rode the number 18 to and from school every day. And then when I used to have an after school job at the West Roads, and then I rode the number two out there. So it brought back a
Number
lot of
two, baby.
memories. Yeah.
Number
Mm-hmm.
two, baby, the Westros. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Well, all right. Well, it seems like you bring a lot of experience and talent to the position that you are applying for. That is so awesome to hear. And you have taught me a lot of things because K through 12, ride the bus free. Now, is that just during
Yeah.
school hours or so they can ride
Ooh,
the bus?
don't get me to lying. I don't know. I don't know
Okay,
about
but
that
just
part.
riding the bus free, it's plenty of time.
Yeah.
It was rain because we had to walk. My grandmother lived in Pleasant View Projects, and I love spending the night over there because it was 1,000 kids in the house, and the projects was just fun back then. I was like, Mama, please, please, why can't we move to the project? And she was like, you can go over your grandma's house. So I would used to stay over there, and so even during school time, I'd be like, oh, I'm just stay over my grands for about a month, and then but we had to walk so far all the way from 30th and Parker down to King
Mm.
Science Center. And when it was raining and snowing, now them were the only days they would give us bus fare. But if we could ride the bus, oh my goodness, if we could have rode the bus, our lives would have been so. I mean, that was a long walk.
That's a
That
long walk.
was a long walk.
I also went to King Science Center.
Well, it was
Yeah.
Horseman when I went, so I know I got to
Yeah.
say to the young audience, King Science Center. It was
Yeah.
Horseman. Mr. Barbie was a principal, carried a paddle around, and knew everybody, mama or daddy, and could thrash you at any time. I got thrashed once.
Mm.
That's all I needed. That's all I
Uh,
needed. Miss Downbeck, I was like, oh yeah, that was not fun, and my mother gave him permission. So yeah. So yeah, K through 12, that is crazy. And then how do people find out about the free bus fare day?
So everything is on Metro's website.
Okay.
Right now is Nebraska Public Transit Week. So they're doing like they did the Free Fare Week. They have books and buses where they are going to the public library and the public libraries, a couple different ones, and reading to young people who are there about public
Mhm.
transportation in hopes to get them to use public transportation more. And then there's going to be they're going to be at Earth Day too at Elmwood Park. They're going
Okay.
to have one of their electric buses out there so people can come and see what that's about. Um, yeah, those are
Okay.
the events that are going on. Metro is actually really good about posting online. They have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, their website. Um, Something I didn't mention, which I should, I always forget to mention it, that I'm on their technical advisory committee right now. I'm actually the chair of that committee. So that is a monthly meeting and community it's open to community members and they can come whenever they want and they would have the opportunity to learn more about what's going on at Metro at that time. And then
Okay.
also a lot of people do come and share their concerns about different things that's going on with the bus system. So whether that is someone not shoveling in front of their bus stop, or if that's litter at the bus stops, or if someone needs um, access to like Moby, which is the paratransit system,
Mhm.
all of that stuff flows through the technical committee and then it goes out to the board.
So, well, thank you for telling me that because that lets me know again, I was already team Downback, but you have the inside track of what's going on. So you are the perfect candidate for this position. Based on that information that no one else that's running for that position, I don't think has as much insight on what's going on, have that much access to the actual people that are yeah, that is awesome. Okay, I am not mad at you. I am not mad at you. I did do a little research and I see that once you get in the position, it's a small stipend of
Yeah,
$500 and
yeah.
I just wanted to know because I mean, that's something, but yeah, okay. It's not nothing to write home about. You gonna deserve it just based on the stuff that you've already said now. So do you know how many times, how do y'all meet? How many times a month y'all meet, or is it quarterly? What will you be expecting as far as your commitment, your time and everything? Because I know you work a job just like the rest of us. So, what if your committee is at 2? What
For
would be
now.
what would be your commitment?
So the board meets once a month. They actually meet every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. And I'm not going to say this too much, but that's one of the things that I would like to change is when the board meets, because these are board meetings that are open to the public. And if we really want to be open to the public, then we need to make it at a time that is accessible for community members. And I've gone to one, but 8:30 on a Tuesday morning, I think I can't, I don't want to say it's wrong. I can't remember which Tuesday of the month it is. If it's the first Tuesday or the third Tuesday, I don't recall. But that's hard for people to make, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that I would like to change. And one of the other requirements other than meeting once a month is that you are supposed to sit on two of the committees, I believe. Right now, there's only 5 members, so there are not enough people to go to spread around to the different committees. But and I cannot remember what the committees are called at the top of my off the top of my head, but it would be the one meeting a month and
Mhm.
then being on the 2 committees, and that is to the furthest extent that is like required.
Mhm.
But I know that I would also like to be able to continue to interact with the technical advisory committee
Mhm.
in a way that unfortunately it's not really happening right now or happening yet. Where I want to say I've been at the technical committee since November, so we're some months into the year and we have not met with folks from the board yet. And I think it's super important that those 2 committees really not just, oh, this is what they said on paper, but have that face-to-face
Right.
interaction and be able to have those relationships. So that's something else that I would commit time to. That's not necessarily something I would have to do on paper.
Okay, yeah, that is very important. I think that even talking on the phone, even I mean, we have since since COVID, Zoom meetings have been is the new normal now. Even
Yeah.
if not just meeting via Zoom, and then sometimes you have to meet in person. I like to see people's body language. I like to see their facial expression. I like to read people and see where they're really coming from. And those are things that you can do in person or you can see them via Zoom, but not everybody, shows their face on Zoom. So I definitely understand that interaction that you're speaking in reference to. And I think that with that face to face or Zoom interaction, virtual interaction, kind of hold people more accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would agree with that, but it definitely seems like it's going to be take up a lot of your time. So we are definitely rooting for you. We got a couple of more people in here. Sister Annie Brooks, she said she want to ride the Orbit, but I don't know what the Orbit is. She said her neighbor drives the bus and she wants to ride it. So what is an Orbit? I heard you
Yes.
say.
Yeah, so the Orbit is the rapid transit bus, and it's what the number 2 used to be. So the Orbit basically only stops at designated stops. So it's like an express bus, basically.
Okay.
And it just goes up and down. Well, not even up and down. It does a loop. So it goes from over by the Jean Leahy Mall on
Hmm.
8th and Farnham and then turns and goes up Dodge Street. And then it does a turnaround. I'm not around the west at the West Roads, and then
Hmm.
it comes back down Dodge Street on the other on the other side. And like
Okay.
I mentioned, it only stops at designated stops. And you know which ones the Orbit stops are because they're the nice new bus stops that have the shelters, and it also
Oh,
has
okay.
um the screens where you can see what time in real time when the bus is going to be there. It on the all the Orbit, well, yep, on all the Orbit buses, it has you can scan with your phone to pay and that sort
Okay.
of thing. So it's a very modern, like
Oh,
upgraded
wow.
version. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It beats it. Wow. Yeah. Vanessa Warren, you're late, but she just came in and she says, see, I like someone listening to someone who knows routes and what they're talking about and just didn't sit on the seat. Yeah, Vanessa was Vanessa is speaking about our last guest. But I mean, Vanessa, you have to come back and watch this because she knows. I mean, I learned so much from her. She is on it, baby. She was ready for this interview and then some. Yeah, that is. So I want to ride the bus, Vanessa. Okay, stay wokers. This is what I want us to do. Let's commit to ride the bus one day. One day in the future, I want to see how many of us. I want to get a bunch of us together and ride the bus and just, I mean, just be nostalgic. Because Vanessa, I don't know, you probably had a car when you was 5. Your daddy probably bought you a car when you was 5, but I don't know if you rode the city bus. But let's do a bus ride. They did that on Sisters, an episode of Sisters, and I said I want to do that, but I was like, yeah. But now you have encouraged me, gave me the motivation. I'm going to do that. Let's get together and ride the bus. Yeah,
I'll
that'll
say
be
I'll
fun.
go too. We can ride
That'll
the
be
orbit. It'll be fun. We can
fun.
go to Jean Leahy Mall and walk around and
Yeah, that would be fun.
yes.
Yes, I haven't been on a bus in years. That would be fun. Well, I understand that you are in a little gang called the Fabric Lab Crew. Oh, I
Yeah.
did my research. Look, I did my
I was
research.
like, hey, hold
You
on.
like
Yeah.
gang? Oh no. But tell us a little bit about the because I understand y'all got members that came back in
Mhm.
town. So tell us a little bit about the Fabric Lab Crew.
Yes, so Fabric Lab is a Black-led urban design lab and community space that it has been really cultivated to be a third place for community members to come and gather, to host events, to learn about urban planning and design, and just really learn about what's going on in the North 24th Street corridor specifically, but also a little bit broader than that. So, just about things that are going on in North Omaha and in Omaha generally. And there are several partners. So, one of the Fabric Lab partners is Kiera Marche. She is a she is a performing artist. She's a host and MC for Omaha Mobile Stage. And she's been doing that for a few years now. The thing that she's most well known for is Pull Up and Vibe. So it's a open mic series that takes place at Fabric Lab the first Saturday of every month, and it's for all people, all ages to come out and just let their voice be heard, whether that's through poetry, singing, rap, comedy, like whatever it may be. Folks are always welcome to come and use that platform. And people who do come and use that platform are always greeted in a soft and caring way. So it's a safe place, a safe open mic. Nobody's gonna boo you off the stage or anything like that. And then another partner is Dewan Hayes. He is a cultural curator. He's an artist as well. He does graphic design, and he's just an all-around really cool person to have around, a very mellow dude. But he's also about his stuff politically. He ran for mayor in 2020, and really holds like our political leaders
Mhm.
accountable,
Right.
So he's also a Fabric Lab partner. Um, I'm trying to remember what they were called, like some design sessions. And when things were going on with the library, he was able to gather people together to get them more informed in that process. Same thing with Mutual of Omaha. And he just moved back from Chicago. He was in Chicago for the last maybe year and a half, almost 2 years over there, learning about what other people are doing, and then bringing
Bringing it
some of
back
that
home.
back. Yeah,
That's
bringing some of
right.
that back
That's
home.
right.
Yes,
Bring
for
that back
sure.
home, baby.
Yeah.
Go out and learn and bring it back home. So if I want to
Hmm.
spit some bars, so where is a location where I can pull up and give some of my old school? Y'all know I got bars on Say Woke Don't Play. Where can I go to listen to on a is it to pull up and vibe
Pull up
or
and vibe is at, so normally it's at Fabric Lab. It's the first Saturday of every month, but the next one is actually going to be a super special one. It's still on the first Saturday, so May 4th, and it's going to be at Healing Roots African Diaspora Garden, so the community garden that I organize, and it's a pull up and vibe festival. So let me
okay.
see. Chink Diamond, I know she's from Omaha. She's well known. She's a rapper, super
That's my
cool.
niece. That's my
Uh,
niece.
yes, she's gonna be. She's one of the headliners. So
Okay.
she's the head. She's the headliner. Shoot, I'm sorry, I don't know the other people off the top of my head. This is not my event,
So where
but
is
that's
the
going to be
geographical?
May
Where's the
4th.
physical location at? I got May
Um,
4th.
3617 North 24th Street. So it's at Healing Roots African Diaspora Garden. It's on the corner of 24th and Pratt, right across the street from Evans
Oh,
Towers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know where that is.
Yes, so it's a free festival. It's for all ages. There's going to be vendors. Skate Fest is going to be there. That's another one
Okay.
of Fabric Lab partners. So Skate Fest is led by Blake, and he teaches young people how to skateboard and how to rollerblade, just to give them a different outlet. He goes to the schools a lot, so different schools in North and South Omaha to do their after school program, and then
Okay.
he also pops up at community events. So he's another partner. Preston Love Jr. is another Fabric Lab partner as well. I'm sure, I don't know if y'all talked about him on the show yet or not, but he's running for Senate.
We interviewed him a
Yes.
few weeks ago. A great
Okay.
interview. A great interview. He
Yes.
told us about the Black Kids Votes Matter,
Yep.
about the traveling around, basically giving them civil rights along with the educational, the college tour and things like that. Yeah,
Yes.
he was very good. I've been knowing him all of my life, basically.
He's a partner. He's a good friend too, and I've taken his classes at UNO as well. He used to do his Fabric Lab is the orient. Well, it used to be the orientation spot for his North Omaha Legacy tours. So people would come in the space first. They'd be greeted by me, by Manny, by Preston,
Mm.
and just learn a little bit more about the space, and then they will go about their tour. So
Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all to
yes.
give this young lady some hearts because, honey, she has been on it, has not gaslighted me or dodged any questions. She has answered beyond the scope of the question and educated us on so many different things. People are saying the energy is different from the last candidate. Oh, my welcome, my sister Yvette Jennings. She is late, but she said I'm late, but I'm on here, ladies. Yes, Yvette. Miss Clarice Dombeck is running for the Metro Transportation Board, Metropolitan Transportation Board. So we are definitely here to support her. Vanessa says she has a garden. She loves it. I don't know if you really, she said, you don't sound like a Trumper. Um,
Mm-mm. Could
look,
never.
yeah, she said, oh, she's correcting me, the history tour. Yes, Vanessa, I said civil rights, the history tour. And basically what Preston Love, Brother Love was talking about a few weeks ago. So, yeah, so on this show, we keep it real. I'm going to let you know. So at the end of the show, so get your mind together. I'm going to show a couple of clips of some of the top stories. Oh, we have now, you don't have to comment on none of this. Now, you can if you want to. But I don't know if you guys saw the interview, the thing that interview of Stephen A. I have always been a fan of Stephen A. But yeah, it's a wrap. He was on Fox News and he was like, "Oh yeah, y'all tried to come for me on Fox News, and because I can go, yeah, you can go on you can go on any show you want to." And I don't. The big thing that I have a problem with is the African American men, even when they're trying to say they're not giving Trump a pass. I mean, the man right
Mm.
now is being charged with a felony. He's got 34 felonies in court instead of campaigning. I mean, and then when Stephen A said, "Oh, well, well, Trump said that, oh yeah, the black people can relate to me now because I'm being treated like them." First of all, you're not being treated like us. That's not how court proceedings go. With because one of us would have broken a gag order, we would have been in jail for contempt. That's the first thing. Secondly, don't forget that Trump ran full page ads, had those young black men. Please don't forget that. Y'all act like y'all don't remember nothing. Had those five innocent black young men. He was an intricate part of that pressure on the court system. He ran full page ads for those young people that aren't
The
that familiar
Central Park Five, right?
the Central Park Five. He ran full page ads even after they were exonerated, still saying
Mm.
they did it, they should be in prison. So please, please, while y'all up here trying to defend this man for whatever reason, I can't even fathom. But Stephen
Mm.
A was like, well, yeah, I said it. and like he'll come at you. I love him because he'll come at you. But no, what you did was just gave that man a bigger platform because he broke and know how the money to spend, on advertising. So what you did
Mhm.
for that man, you just gave him a platform. And I can't respect you for that, Stephen A. So you lost me on that. Will not be watching your show, will not be entertaining you at all. Will not be entertaining him. He came back, all huff and puff. I love when he come back huff and puff, but usually, but not for that. I don't know how anybody can defend that man. He will never be like one of us. The only he was charged in 4 different districts. He took one mugshot. That was from Fonnie Willis. And if she wouldn't have did that, so how many people Miss Dombeck, that's been arrested and went through the system, been arrested for felonies and didn't get a mugshot? I don't know not a
Never.
one of them. I'm ex-law
No.
enforcement. I don't know not a one of them. Every single one of them that came, whether they bonded out or not, baby, we got their mugshot. We got, so please don't tell me, oh well, I mean, but he is right, relate. I can't relate to him. I don't relate to him on no level. There isn't a level at all like him. So Stephen A, you lost me. I'm no longer a fan of yours, Stephen. It's a wrap. Look, it's a wrap. So another thing we were talking about, and like I said, um uh the black man, he was a police officer. Just outrageous stuff that's happening, within the black community. He was a police officer, and the guy, the young man, was a nurse. He followed in his mom's footsteps. He was a nurse. He killed his boyfriend because he broke up with him. He didn't want him anymore. The thing is, if somebody don't want you, because how many relationships have we all been in and we're not in those
Mhm.
same relationships? So that meant either he didn't want you or you didn't want them. You didn't want him or her, she or he didn't want you, and y'all broke up. Y'all not together. So are you supposed to bring violence and harm and death to somebody because they don't want to be with you? This man did, the nurse, he did everything in his power. He filed restraints. He kept going to the police department. All of his friends and neighbors in the complex had ring cameras. So they were videotaping him outside smoking, being out there, that well, if he's not here when we sell, I mean, you got the stuff on camera. So he literally killed that young man on camera. I don't want to show the video, because once I watched it fully, I was just so just
It was
disappointed. Just I'm just like, I'm like, what in the world? What makes you think this? Is what I want you, and women, men, tell your sons, your daughters, you don't have the right to kill anybody unless they are trying to do bodily harm to you. If somebody don't want you or break up, leave the situation. Leave the situation. I'm sick and tired of the black on black violence. I'm sick and tired on all this. This is our sick and tired of segment. So you got to talk your shit, Miss Dom. But I'm gonna say mine. Usually I say I ask you to do yours, but I'm about to talk my shit now. I'm sick and tired of black folks doing crazy, outrageous stuff. This just doesn't even make sense. Think, think before you do things. And then you want somebody to support you on your prison journey. No, think
Mhm.
before you do things. I'm sick and tired of the violence, the black on black violence. I am sick and tired of it. So during this segment, we give our guests and anybody in the audience time to say what you are sick and tired of. This is called the talk your shit moment. You can rant and rave about something you sick and tired of, something you want to change. We have had some outrageous one. Preston Love had a great one. He had one. He had about 3 of them back to back. I said, you must have watched the show. I knew I was going to ask you this because he was like, boom, boom, boom. I said, okay, are you just a good politician? So what are you, Miss Domvik? What? Oh, before you answer that, what? Your last name, the origin.
It's Polish.
Polish. Okay, okay,
Yeah, so my mom is black and my dad is white.
okay.
My mom married a Polish man. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because I was like, and yeah, it is good to see a face with a picture
Mhm.
name, because you're right. People would have, I was like, yeah, no. And then when Precious told me your name, I said, Dominic. And that's, I'm definitely gonna ask her. So okay, it's Polish. So Miss Dominic, what are you sick and tired of? Go ahead and talk.
So many things. I guess the first thing I'm gonna say is the war in Palestine. Like horrible. horrible, atrocious, like needs to stop. Seriously, it just hearing about it on the news every day is just like my stomach is in knots.
Hmm.
And it's just deeply disturbing that so many women and children are being killed. Um, I hate to even take it there, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. The second thing that came to my mind, which also has to do with transportation, is the deaths of Black and Indigenous pedestrians and cyclists in our communities. And unfortunately, they're at a much higher level, 8, 9 times our white counterparts. And that's specifically here in Omaha. That
Wow.
Black and Indigenous people are more likely to be killed while walking in their communities, while riding bikes in their communities, because our built environment, our streets, our sidewalks, all those things are built in a way, if we have sidewalks in our neighborhoods, are built in a way that are unsafe for us. So I'm definitely sick of that.
Okay.
And the final thing, those are the two things. Those are the two
Okay.
things that
Those are
are at the
good.
top of my mind. Yeah.
Definitely did not know the statistics regarding walking and riding minorities and indigenous people in the city. That is crazy. 9 times higher. It just seems like so many things that happen negatively affect us that we are always at a accelerated rate higher than
Mm-hmm.
other race. I mean, it's crazy.
Everything.
Infant mortality, mothers, the death of Black mothers during pregnancies. I mean, it's just crazy. Diabetes, breast cancer, just an exorbitant amount. And it really frustrates me because with all of this modern technology and everything, that you have the number, and I sit on the CHI patient advocacy board. So, and when I lost my grandson, I was like, you have the numbers. How many numbers do you need? What are you going to be doing? You have the
Mm.
numbers, you have the hypothesis. What action do you plan on taking? I'm sick of you saying you have the numbers. You have the numbers from 1940. It's 2024.
Yeah.
So let's get some action behind those numbers. Do something with those numbers. So I definitely appreciate you. I did not know those numbers, so definitely appreciate you. Before we go, I do have to shout out the people that's been in here today. This is shout out time. Shauna Mackey, thank you for tuning in. Juanita Hayes is viewing. Serena Russell is viewing from Charlotte, North Carolina. Patty J. Morgan, Omaha. Annie Brooks, Omaha. John Gould, Omaha. Vanessa Warren, Omaha. Uh, who left here? Ricky Payne, Omaha. Yvette Jennings, Omaha. Hopefully, some of y'all are in District 2 because we need y'all to get Miss Don back on the Metro Transportation, Metropolitan Transport. I mean, not Metropolitan, Metro Transit Transportation Board. So let me see. Okay, somebody said, I'm sick and tired of all the so called street and highway repairs. Girl, block off the streets. Oh yeah, your neighborhood is blocked off bad, Miss Pat, and it's been blocked off for a minute. I feel you. I'm sick and tired of the reroutes. Get the stuff done. How long do it take? Get it done, City of Omaha. Get it done.
That's
Oh
Public
yeah,
Works Department.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely sick and tired of that. So next week we will have Miss Ashley Spivey on. She is running for Justin Wayne's. Yes, Justin Wayne's open position for legislative. He is termed out. So I'm hopefully going to, after the primary, I'm going to get with um Mr. Ewing, John Ewing. I don't want people to get confused during the process, during the voting process. We want to get our people in now, that we can get in now, and then going towards the general election. Make sure we got to get Jean Stafford out, y'all. The woman is living in a whole different state and thinks she can run this city. It's time for her to go. It's time for her to go. Y'all don't need no explanation on the ballot. it's time for her to go. It was time for her to go, whether she was in Omaha or not. She has expired. When you look at the oatmeal and it said, "Oh, dang, this expired in 2022." I just did that the other day. So
2020.
yeah, you said 2020. So yeah, it is our job.
Oh,
It is our civic duty and our responsibility to vote. People understand how many people died, how many people died to give us the opportunity to vote. Understand what our people had to go through to get the opportunity to vote. Please understand it is our duty for our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents that didn't get the vote. Let's get out there and vote for them. Do you have anything to say before we dismiss?
I would just like to say thank you so much. I'm extremely grateful to be invited on your show and to get to talk with the viewers of the show. And that I hope when folks are looking at their ballot that they consider everything that they heard here
Oh, you
today
in there,
and
baby.
and consider voting for me. Um, the primary election is May 14th, and the top two candidates will move on from the primary to the general election in November. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being a amazing, informative, great guest. You were beautiful inside and out. Just I could just feel your aura through the screen. So I want to thank you. And I know my viewers see it also. Y'all give her hearts because she did her thing. She came here. She's a young woman. She came here. She handled her business. She asked all questions. Yep. Darlene said, thank you. A great interview and great information. She did an amazing job. So remember, when you're out there voting, look for Miss Dombeck. She is one of us, and her values are aligned with us. So we need to get her in office because she has a vision. She has a vision. She has a vision for things. She's ready for it. And I can see her going further and further in politics. We'll be here for you when you run for your next position. So shout out to everybody, all the Stay Wokers. You have been tuned in to the hottest podcast in the Midwest, the only podcast that shouts you out in real time, and answers your questions in real time. We want to thank Ms. Dombeck again and congratulate her in advance for being elected to the Metro Transportation Board. All right, we out of here. We'll be back next week with Miss Ashley Spivey. Tune in at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time to stay woke. Before you go to sleep, you got to do what? Blah, blah, blah. Stay woke. We out of here.